Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here from Austin Dental Spa in beautiful, hot Austin, Texas. If you've tuned in before, you know it must be Wednesday. This is Wisdom Wednesday. We do it every Wednesday about this time, where I try to bring you some of the latest, greatest medical and dental news. Today is no different. It's going to be a fun one. And then we always end with a health tip to something that you can put to use right away that might add value to your life. So that's the basic idea of Wisdom Wednesday. Every month we do have a new theme, and it started last week, and I forgot my props as I walked up to do the filming. I had a headband on last week and wristbands because in September our theme has been ready, sept, go. Little play on words there, and it was like, okay, we're going to spend the whole month talking about things that'll get you up and going, and today is no different. I'm sure you've heard about what everybody's calling the new wonder drug. It's all over everywhere these days, Ozempic. Now this drug came out as well, it's mainly known today, and you may know Ozempic as a weight loss drug, but it actually started getting studied in the 60s and even into the 70s. It was called semaglutide, and that's the generic name, semaglutide, and it was a precursor to semaglutide. Before that, when the FDA first approved it in the 60s, it was discovered as a way to lower blood sugar and therefore treat type 2 diabetics who have trouble regulating their blood sugar. And semaglutide for many years has been known to stimulate the cells in the pancreas that manufacture insulin. Insulin then gets dumped into your bloodstream, usually after you have a big meal, and the blood sugar rises in response to the food being digested in your stomach, and the insulin gets dumped into your system to neutralize the blood sugar and bring it back down, because blood sugar, like many other things, too much is just as bad as not enough. And so there's a homeostasis range in there that is right down the middle, same as blood pressure, too high, too low, neither one are good. So you want it in that homeostatic range. So Ozempic first came out as semaglutide, and it was mainly aimed at diabetics. But what they found over the years is that these diabetics started having fewer cardiovascular issues. And this study that I'm going to mention today, that we're kind of building this whole Wisdom Wednesday around, was reported by the BBC recently. There were 17,600 people that were in this study, all age 45 or older. So it was a very targeted group. They all were overweight, but none of them were diabetic. And they did the study over several years, and they found that that group, that over 45, no diabetes, but all overweight, if not morbidly obese, taking Ozempic for the time period of this study, they found that these people not only lost weight, but which is one of the main reasons it's used for now, the weight loss, Wegovy is one of the names that's gone by now. Trade name is either Ozempic or Wegovy. It's the same drug, basically. But they found that this group of people that they were trying to see how much weight they lost, some of them didn't lose that much weight, but they had fewer heart issues like strokes, heart attacks, Alzheimer's disease. They found that they were less likely to suffer from Alzheimer's, and it cut down levels of inflammation in the body, which they weren't expecting any of these things. So it's kind of becoming, in a lot of circles, known as the wonder drug. it's not just for weight loss like you may have heard if it's recent exposure to it. It actually, as I said, first came out as an anti-diabetic medication. But these new findings, a professor at Yale University recently said, it wouldn't surprise me if that improving people's health this way actually slows down the aging process. So expect to hear in the coming months that people are going to start using it as an anti-aging medication. So who knows what we're going to hear about Ozempic and Wegovy in the years to come. But this is a drug that they haven't figured out all the ways it affects the human body, but every way that they have tested it so far, it has some far-reaching implications with very few side effects. It's just something to know. I know you can't get through a day on social media without hearing about, and TV commercials, about Wegovy and Ozempic. So now you know a little bit more about it. My health tip, we're going to talk about 3 tips to improve your concentration. If you're getting older like me, over 70 years old now, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to concentrate on what you start out doing one thing. You know, there's all kinds of jokes out there on the internet about, I walked into the room and I forgot what I was in here for, and then there's several different variations of that. But here's 3 ways from Harvard Health Publishing, 3 things that they found to improve your concentration. Number 1, mindfulness. Focusing your attention on the present moment is how they define mindfulness. Not thinking about what's going on tomorrow, what went on yesterday, or even what's going to happen in an hour, but taking a couple of minutes each day, closing your eyes and just thinking, being in the present, thinking about your breathing, thinking about feeling your heart beating, thinking about what sounds do you hear? What temperature is it? How do you feel in your body right then and there? Just a couple of minutes a day of doing that, these Harvard researchers found that it improves your ability to concentrate. Number 2, cognitive training. There are a lot of different, you can find them online now if you just type in computerized cognitive training, those 3 words, and you'll find all kinds of games. Some people say that playing Sudoku or the Wordle game that's out in the New York Times every day forces you to concentrate, because the first word you put in there needs to have vowels and consonants in there, and then you build, it's like a crossword puzzle without all the crosswords. But it requires you to focus. And so they're finding that these cognitive computerized training things force you to focus on what's going on right there in front of you, again, in the present, in order to play those games. And so they're claiming that, so Google it, computerized cognitive training. See what you find. Number 3, you hear this almost every Wisdom Wednesday from me. No getting around it. Live a healthy life. Eat well. Sleep well. Getting enough rest. Stay hydrated. All those same 3 things over and over and over again. But there has been plenty of scientific evidence that eating well, sleeping well, leads to a much more likelihood of a longer life. Exercise 20 minutes a day, at least 3 days a week. 5 is better. These are all things you've heard over and over from me on Wisdom Wednesdays. It's not new news, but those are the 3 things that Harvard says you should be doing on a regular basis if you want to improve your ability to concentrate. So hope that's been helpful. I hope you've had a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday for another September issue, Ready, Sept, Go, of Wisdom Wednesday. So long.